Always remember, you can turn a Bears fan into a rational football fan today. Why? Because we need to stop idiocy of them believing DJ Moore is a number one receiver. Because he's not. More on that later. Let's go. On your mark, get set. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning. Kevin Durant, you should have never left California.
This Bronxexual upset me in having to bring this teenage idiot from Wisconsin into a sports conversation. Are you really surprised the Cowboys are giving up on Ezekiel Elliott?
Whoa, hell no! Well, no one cares about baseball.
Bitch, are you for real?
Time to end this the right way. Good morning. Welcome to the fabulous, fantastic football Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us in the region, across the nation, and around the world. 8 minutes after the hour, wherever you may be listening and wherever you may be watching. Now, if y'all thought the whip around I did earlier in the week was legendarily fast, you ain't seen nothing yet. Let's get to it. Presented by Fanatics. I swear Cole hands me some absolute gems. Don't assume Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti is clueless or naive as he deals with Michigan. Well, you've already proven that you are because you haven't handed down the hammer yet. Hurry up! I could end it right there, but that would be doing a disservice. Reese Hoskins is gone from Philadelphia, and Bryce Harper will take over at first base. About time. Caitlin Clark drops 44 on the heads of the Virginia Tech Hokies as the number 3 Iowa Lady Hawkeyes defeat Virginia Tech 80-76. And watch the Snowman Multimedia YouTube channel. There will be some Iowa games covered. There will be some women's basketball covered. Lots of it. Babe, I'm taking your advice. I'm zoning in on women's sports. And I know she's going to love me even more for that. Giannis Antetokounmpo dropped 54 points. And the Bucks lost to the Indiana Pacers 126-124. Tyrese Halliburton's go-ahead three with 89 seconds left sealed the deal. Sorry, Giannis. The Tuohy family, here we go with this story again, paid Michael Oher $138,000 from proceeds of the Blind Side movie. Will y'all hurry up and settle this, please? Come on, you. Never mind. Here's your whip around presented by Fanatics. The Bears and Panthers played last night, and fortunately, I slept all the way through it. But I do have to do the service of breaking this down. And before I go to break, I give y'all this. DJ Moore. It's the only way I can describe that farce of a game last night at Soldier Field. And it was a farce. Don't believe me? Look at the lowlights or highlights or whatever the hell you want to call them. The Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson continues in a deuce.
Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets.
Everything Boston. I love you, you morons. New Kids from the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason.
Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pizzle 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby.
Get ready for the Four Horsemen of Peckham's. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube. Poppy J.
You got the option to cry for the government. You got the option to protest. You got the option to keep buying. But this is also an option.
Wise El Jefe.
We're the first tech geeks. We're the first gamers. We're the first everything. Everything. Like Gen X's, we are the ones.
BS3 Network proudly presents the crew from the New York boroughs who never wants that smoke. Nah, they want that fire. Poppy J and Wise El Jefe. Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
15 after the hour. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. The Panthers and the Bears played football last night. Who cares? Because Cole dropped me a gem for the thumbnail, Futility Bowl. And that's exactly what that was last night. Who cares? It's the Panthers and the Bears, for God's sake. Does that tell you anything? That they stick the suckiest matches on Thursday night football? Before I go any further and before I tear into this, good morning to Ryan McCoffey. Hoping everyone enjoyed Thursday night football. unless you had better things to do, like watch Caitlin Clark drop 44 points on Virginia Tech. Cool McCain with us. The Bucks are weaker on defense. Yep, and it's the fault of one Damian Lillard. I said it when the trade was done. I will continue to say it. My Pacers and Timberwolves are balling 6-3, 5-2. Timberwolves are going to fall. I trust the Pacers. And by the way, there's a certain team in the Bay that's also 6-3. RC again, who's going to be one of my broadcast partners. Bears and Panthers played. Who could have thunk it? I'll repeat my question. Who cares? Who cares about a game like that? When nobody was watching it, nobody. I wasted 2 minutes of my time this morning looking at highlights of that game, trying to figure out what happened. And it goes back to a simple point. I don't care. That wasn't football. About Caitlin Clark drops 44 on a tough team, number 8, Virginia Tech. Caitlin's the truth, like museum artifacts. Now, RC, I say unto you, can Iowa get to April and finish the job? The Iowa Lady Hawkeyes should be pissed off right now that they lost in the national championship game, part 1 and part 2, surrendered 102 points while doing it. As LSU became the second team in college basketball history to drop 100 points in the championship game. My trivia question on this Friday, who was the first to do it? Let me see if someone will get that answer. Deontay Foreman runs for a touchdown as the Bears beat the Panthers 16-13 to boost their shot at the top pick in the draft. It's the Bears. They're going to screw it up. David Kaplan said it best. Get some football people in there. Fix that doggone thing, which they won't, which they can't because they don't. I never thought I'd say this about my hometown team, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it anyway. Since the Mike Ditka era ended, what the hell have the Bears done? No, I'll go even further. Since 1985, what the hell have the Bears done? I'll answer. Here I go playing with the elements again. Okay, so the Bears actually won that game 16-13. You know what both teams took last night? They took one of these. Deontay Foreman is the starting Bears running back. You know what that classified at? You know what that's classified as? This. Eddie Pinheiro, former Bears kicker, missed a 59-yard field goal with the ball landing well short of the goalpost. The Bears sealed the win when Darnell Mooney caught an 8-yard pass on 3rd and 7 at the 48. What does that constitute for the Carolina Panthers? Another one of these. In 3 words, this game sucked because there was no draw to it, and somehow 61,000 people at Soldier Field decided to sit through 3 hours of this. Why? What the hell were y'all thinking? RC, one more time. There's just one problem that the Iowa Hawkeyes, not named Caitlin Clark, just watch the ball and has kind of like Smush Parker Kwame would do, just like Kobe and all. I don't like that either, RC. I want the ball to hop around. Since we're hopping around on subjects, I want the ball to hop around. How does Bob Fitzgerald put it? How did Jim Durham put it? I want it on the move. I want the ball to cycle around. That's why LSU beat Iowa and hung 102 points on them. The ball cycled around. More on that later. Deontay Foreman. Tyson Badger. Let's go here. Tyson Badger completed 20 of 33 for 162 yards in his 4th straight start with Justin Fields sidelined because of a dislocated right thumb. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to break this into 2 parts. I'll finish this part right here about the game. Cairo Santos kicked 3 field goals. Whoopee. The Bears actually won. Whoopee. Who cares? You think we actually care that the Bears and Panthers actually played last night? Thank you. And for that game, I give a selection from the Wonder Bread Choir entitled, Does Anybody Care About These Two Dumpster Fires? Montez Sweat said, quote, they got swagger. All these guys. I really love the kind of like plug and play. I'm really going along with them, trying to figure out the energy that they're bringing, close quote. Let me answer that for you, Montez Sweat. You got a bum deal. Oh, and as far as your quote goes, I offer these words of advice.
Stop the cap.
Stop it. You got shipped off from Washington because the Redskins didn't want you anymore. They're busy purging everything Washington Commanders, getting rid of that smoke screen now that the witch is dead and Daniel Snyder being fired. And they're going to shift back to the Washington Redskins, and you're going to wish that you were there for that rebuild. Meanwhile, Montez Sweat, you're in a perpetual rebuild with the Chicago Bears. There's no brains up top with these guys. Unless they decide to blow up the administration and tell the McCaskies get the hell out and stay out, they're going to be so mediocre it's not even funny. I said it about my 49ers, I've said it about my White Sox, and I will say it about the Chicago Bears. Until they get some football people in there to fix this doggone thing, it'll continue to be as mediocre as ever, period. Now, I know some Bears fans are looking at me and going,
why the you lying? Why you always lying?
Find the lies within what I said. Find the lies. That's all I got to say. Find the lies. Because there are none to be found and there are none to be told about these two dumpster pelican fires. Thank you, Sensei Drew. Because you know what? Let me just say, let me add this. Let me just add this. And while I'm busy saying so, let me thank Sensei Drew for this term because I'm going to use it a lot in the next 30 seconds. These two franchises are a pair of dumpster pelican fires. I added the fire. They're a bunch of dumpster pelicans trying to figure out what the hell a football team is. You can add a few more onto that pile also. But I will say it the way it needs to be said, must be said, and too many people, especially those involved in the NFL, won't say it. It goes like this. Until you get some football people in the top party office that actually want to win, then you will be nothing but a pair of teams housing dumpster pelicans and turning it into a dumpster fire for as long as they shall live. Period. Now, I'm going to take a break. And when you all get back, I have quite a few things to say about one Justin Fields. And I will warn you right now, a lot of people are not going to like what I'm about to say. Back in a deuce.
Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pizzle 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby!
Get ready for the Four Horsemen of Pick'ems. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube. Poppy J.
You got the option to cry for the government. You got the option to protest. You got the option to keep buying, but this is also an option.
Wise El Jefe.
We're the first tech geeks. We're the first gamers. We're the first everything. Everything. Like Gen X's, we are the ones.
BS3 Network proudly presents the crew from the New York boroughs who never wants that smoke. Nah, they want that fire. Poppy J and Wise El Jefe. Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
Mister? How do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets.
Everything Boston. I love you, you morons. New Kids from the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
Cause we take this job so serious.
The is that? Sorry, pardon me. My apologies.
What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
Oh boy. Had to take care of my little Lucy. That's why the extended break. 29 after the hour. Got some game previews coming up. One in Frankfurt, Germany, and one in Jacksonville, Florida. We'll get to those. We'll get to our picks at the top of hour 2 with Mike Debate and company. And, of course, you know how we're going to close the show. Bears need to get rid of everything above them in the brass. Yeah, and Eberflus has to go with them. What the hell is a Matt Eberflus? I've been wanting to ask that. No, I have asked that for the longest. You think, okay, you think, more on that later. Their other RBs are injured. Yeah, I know. But the stupidest move is they let David Montgomery walk. Dummies. They played the Hello Kitty Cats. It's a strong term for them to win. No comment. Endless expansion team that just so happened to be good in the 80s and win the Super Bowl. Yeah. because they kept getting their ass kicked by everyone else. 80s, 90s, 2000s. It's an endless dumpster fire. Mr. Willingham, I hope you're proud of me in that use. Bears will never go answer until old Virginia realizes that the Bears are a sports team and not a trinket for her tea parties. Victor, when do you suppose that's going to happen? I got to get some random musings from Vicola up here after I do the previews. Sweat should be a free agent soon, right? He not stuck in Chicago. Yes, he is. He inked a 4-year deal. Why, Montez? Why? That's all I have. That's all I have to ask. Why? Now, before I get into my game previews, and I have 2 of them on the docket, I have this for Justin Fields. Now, I tell all the Bears fans here and now, brace yourself, because I am going to be very abrasive according to y'all, and I'm talking about Bears fans, when I say the following words. Justin Fields sucks as a quarterback. Now, I'm going to let that sink in for a couple of moments. Is he an athlete? Yeah, a fabulous one. But as a quarterback, he sucks. Can't read a defense, don't know when to use his legs, don't know when to get rid of the ball and quit taking hits and get out of bounds. He sucks. And yet y'all meaning the Bears invested all this capital in DJ Moore, to the point where I read an article yesterday saying they need to target DJ Moore. Well, whose fault is that? Start with Matt Eberflus for not getting him involved in the offense. Go to Justin Fields for not getting him involved in the offense. Go to the brass for wasting that capital on a number 2 wide receiver. And they're trying to make him into number 1. They tried that in Carolina and it backfired. About the only thing that came out of that win last night was an extra 10 days for Justin Fields to rest and get back on the field, which he won't. A chance for them to boost their chances to get the number 1 pick, which is more than likely going to be Caleb Williams, and he's going to be ruined for life, i.e. Mitch Trubisky. Hello. And now Justin Fields is cooked, done, fried, end of story. So he set the record for playmaker. I hope I make you proud with this. So he set the record for rushing yards by a quarterback. Hey, who cares? The brass of the Chicago Bears and the Bears themselves should be ashamed for what they have done to Justin Fields. And Justin Fields should be ashamed for what he has done to himself, i.e. not being a quality quarterback. I have a dear friend in Chicago by the name of Andre Morgan who bristles every time I say something like that. Every time I say Justin Fields sucks as a quarterback, he loves telling me, you're wrong. Find the freaking lie. Have you seen Justin Fields play? Have you seen Justin Fields in pressure situations? Leave it right there. Have you seen Justin Fields in pressure situations? You haven't? Well, let me give you a clue. He's on his ass before the ball's out of his hands more often than not. And yet, during the preseason in the game against the Buffalo Bills, I believe it was the Buffalo Bills, DJ Moore caught 3 for 129 yards, and they're looking and saying, oh, look at this connection between Justin Fields and DJ Moore. Oh, yeah? How'd that work out for you? Justin Fields sucks. And it's going to take a Herculean effort by a team that actually wants to take a chance on him, build a line around him, supply him with a running game to lean on, and receivers where he can throw the ball to. Now, let me get Cool McCain for a minute in saying, I will say this aloud, and I will continue to say this aloud. The Niners messed up in drafting Trey Lance. A lot of people, and I'll take McCain out of the equation, a lot of people think they should have drafted Justin Fields. Oh, yeah? Well, what good would he have done in that complicated offense if he doesn't study anyway? I'm not saying he's below the level of Kyler Murray. Hell no. We'll never say that. I never will say that because that would be idiotic of me to think so. However, given the fact and given the team that's surrounding him, he sucks. Next stop, New York Jets. And that is that. Now, if you disagree, and I know a lot of you will, and I do this playfully, leave me a comment on the YouTube page. In the immortal words of the late, great Chris Benoit, prove me wrong, Justin. If Victor Wembanyama can prove me wrong, why can't you? Why can't you heal up? And I know, and I'm not saying he's not taking the time to heal up. I know better than to say that. I just know what my eyes have shown me with him being on the field, and it ain't good. It'll take a Herculean effort for a team to repair him, fix him, and make him a better quarterback. And as I said before, next stop, New York Jets. If that, or even worse, next stop, Carolina Panthers. Oops! That's Snowman's take. What's yours? Now, time for some game previews. At 9:30 Sunday morning, the New England Patriots at 2-7 take on the Indianapolis Colts at 4-5. This is a chance for the Brian.
Ain't nobody calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, are you still involved? Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still involved? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still involved. Oh, no, I'm still involved.
Stop lying. Stop lying.
Them boys. I'm still them boys.
Still them boys. You ain't still
I'm still them boys.
Still them boys. Oh no. Oh,
You are an asshole for that.
Good morning, everybody.
Oh, shut up. Ladies and gentlemen, the executive producer extraordinaire, the man in charge of Cole Sports with a Z. The one, the only, the mad scientist himself, Mr. Cole Johnson. And somehow you knew after the rant I cut loose about Justin Fields to just plug that in and play just to get me. You always do this, and I love you for doing that. You always get me off my stride with something stupid like that. I'm not even going to ask where you. No, I don't think you found it. I think it found you.
It someone did find me.
That one found it had to have found you because ain't no way in hell you go searching for stuff like that.
Oh my gosh. I saw this. I was like, this is hilarious. I was like,
Where did it find you? Where did it find? I got to know now.
So
where
so it was a woman Cowboys fan that of course was posting stuff basically saying, even though after the loss in Philly, I still am, DC for L, meaning Dallas Cowboys for life.
Dallas Cowboys for life.
And then she posted that video, and I was like, "Oh, this got to be jacked," because this
and you
typifies exactly. Yeah, I jacked it. This typifies Cowboys fan if nothing else does.
And you know what? And you know what? It not only does it typify the moronic republic of Cowboy Nation. It typifies Cowboy fans that have dipped their toes into the pool of the moronic republic of Cowboy Nation.
Yes, it does.
Find the lie. Victor's standing by. We'll get to him when we get to our picks. Ryan, I did not mean. Look, next stop New York Jets. I know that was low, but I coupled it with a lower statement in saying next stop Carolina Panthers. Because
don't worry, it gets no lower than Zach Wilson. I'm sorry, my bad.
Let me get Victor. Go push the button, please, because we gotta get somebody else in on the fun here. Push the button.
Oh, okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Ed McMahon. Oh, no, I take that back. The Flavor Flav. No. Who's a good hype man?
Because Victor actually has all his teeth.
Right. The rest of the Joe Budden crew to the Joe Budden of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the greatest hype man to ever exist on any program. The one, the only.
Six rows of A's before we bring him in. Good morning, Victor. How are you?
Once again, I am honored by the legendary, the EP of all EPs, Mr. Cole Johnson, and the founder of the feast, the Kingpin, Brian Snow. I got a question.
Uh-oh.
Yes,
sir. What was that blasphemy that was just on the screen? What in the Gerald Jack Daniels Jones was that?
He said Gerald Jack Daniels Jones. See, and y'all think I'm dropping gems with what? No, you should hear Victor when he gets going. All right. We got to use that. We got to visualize that now. Gerald Jack Daniels Jones.
Oh my gosh.
Here's the thing. I had a good response for Snowman in the Justin Fields situation. And just before I was going to say something, that popped up.
I told you, Cole has a tendency to stick stuff in the program after me or him or Wise have one of our legendary rants. And then something like that pops up. Okay. You know what? Do you still have the picture of him holding the trophy and it's saying February 2023? Because that's a public service announcement waiting to happen. We got to use that for if we know what we use on Wednesdays, right? With the thumbnails that you send me. We could use that on Friday.
I do not understand
the misspelling of February in 2023. Yeah.
How drunk was that individual? He thought he was Tyrese and Brian McKnight all in one.
Wow. Tyrese and Brian.
He said Tyrese and Brian McKnight. My next 3-word challenge is find the lie.
Oh my goodness.
He said Tyrese and Brian. Wait a minute. Victor, I love you, but I hate you for that statement. And I'm sitting there trying not to burst out laughing.
Me?
You know what Victor just did to me? He gave me one of these.
Yoga fire.
With that Tyrese and Brian McKnight combination.
I mean, he thought he was rocking the mic.
Being the operative was.
Exactly. He really thought he thought he channeled Jodeci, Brian McKnight, Johnny Gill, Keith Sweat, Luther Vandross, Tyrese.
You know what that reminds Victor, you know what that reminds me of? You and I have ridden the L before in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
And when it gets toward downtown, these crazy fools that think they know how to sing or rap or something climb onto the train, disturb everybody. Okay? Especially those of us like Victor and myself that have a long ride up north to do a ball game. They come on and they put forth that in looking for change.
I had a woman one time on the train. She thought she was pulling some Whitney Houston type stuff, but it sounded like a Royal Rumble full of cats. sound like a feline Royal Rumble.
Full of cats.
He said a Royal Rumble full of cats.
It sounds like a feline Royal Rumble.
Oh my gosh.
You know what's bad though? I had that happen when I had to do a game at Whitney Young one day. I had to do a game at Whitney Young, and now I'm in a shirt and tie. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I have my equipment in my backpack.
Mm-hmm.
This woman, who was thinner than this, thought she was singing. Man, I yanked out my headphones so fast.
And I don't ever dissuade someone to follow in their dream. If you want to be a singer, please go ahead and
Go
do
after it. Go
But
get it. Yes.
By all means, get some lessons.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
First, you got to have nerve.
Then
you need to
learn how to do it. Yes.
Then you need to cultivate. You need to cultivate your craft. You absolutely need to cultivate your craft.
That's a no-brainer.
Because someone actually said the same to me when they heard one of my calls. You need to learn how to do you need to learn the craft. Now, I did swear in response. I won't repeat the entire sentence I said here, but what I said was, I've got 30 years of experience. You have 30 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Breaking. All right. We got some breaking news on the Arena Football League. The AFL has announced the return of the Philadelphia Soul, led by former NBA player Mustafa Shakur. The head coach is Patrick Pimell, a longtime friend of the Shady Sports Network. Now, that interview is going to happen. I won't say it will happen. I won't say it needs to happen. That interview, if we know Sam as well as we do, is going to happen.
Yes.
I'm glad. Well, go ahead, read that, brother. Read it, brother.
Cool McCain says, what exactly did the Bears give up for DJ Moore? Didn't they get 2 first-round picks in that trade? It's the fact that they made the trade for a number 2 receiver.
Here's the problem.
And they may get another. And they may get.
They're making another one.
They may get another one overall for next year because of that. Because of them.
This is the thing I said about Justin Fields.
And this is, if they're smart, and I know people that are defenders of DJ Moore. And if Jay Spivey were here, he would laugh at my next statement, but would also clarify it. He would also confirm it. I beg your pardon.
Confirm it, yeah.
DJ Moore is not a number 1 receiver, period.
No.
He's number 2 at best.
And I sent y'all an article, and I know y'all got a kick out of it. When the headline read, Cole, push the button, please.
Oh.
That one.
Sorry, my bad.
It could fit.
Well, it did.
DJ Moore needs to be targeted more often.
Close quote.
Well, the thing is, if you're gonna use him, use him. If you're gonna get him, you need to use him.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I said about the Justin Fields situation is that, well, yes, he has not shown us anything. What does he have in front of him?
Well,
what is going to protect him from the blitz?
He has exactly what he has shown.
Dumpster pelicans. That
Mannequins.
act as turnstiles. 300-pound dumpster pelicans that act as turnstiles.
Right.
They're big fat turnstiles. Like I said, I have a few dear friends in my hometown in Chicago. Every time I say something negative about Justin Fields, they bristle, i.e. the moronic Republic of Cowboy Nation, when I say something truthful or negative about Dak Prescott.
Exactly.
And speaking of that, and I'm glad you dropped in, Sam, and I'm also glad you dropped in Cool. Thank you, brother.
Yes. Thank you.
Since you all are here, our Eagles brethren, apparently Cowboys fan was the Cowboys were beaten so badly that now have Cowboys fan doing this.
Ain't nobody calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, are you still involved? Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still involved? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Shut up, my boy. I'm still them boys.
Speak them tongues, boy.
Oh, I'm still them boys. Them boys. I'm still them boys. I'm still them boys.
The rational Cowboy fans
should
can get
go-
a little bit of momentum. We get 100 hand slapped by the Moronic Republic yet again.
Michael,
Stop it. Get some help.
Please. Please.
Bishop Bullwinkle.
Hell no. To the no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no.
And yes,
Your
I
Eagles
will
beat the Cowboys that bad, man.
I will even implore my beautiful wife to have a hand on this.
Mister, will you please wake up?
What is that?
Is that not appropriate, Cole? Is that not appropriate?
No, it fits.
It absolutely
You know
fits.
what else? Hey, you know what else fits, gentlemen? This.
Oh Lord.
Hold on, we're trying to find the brain cells of the Moronic Republic.
I feel like I said if I wasn't at work.
You said you were trying to find the brain cell.
We're looking.
R. Lee Emery.
Nope.
And I will do this one live.
We lost connection.
Holy G. What is that? What the is that?
Not we lost connection.
We lost because on that
There is no brain
wait,
cells for the Moronic Republic.
wait. Victor, I'll
Now
go
we
one
know.
step further. Victor, I'll go one step further. Not only did we lose connection, anybody who's dealt with AO hell.
Wow.
Listen, I played that sound for my wife, and my wife glared at me with the following question, quote, "Why are you bringing back nightmares?"
If you
And
ever lived in a household,
listen, in which she was not lying about that question. Now, anyone who has dealt with dial-up, and that once upon a time, everybody dealt with dial-up. Good Lord, I know I had to with that heavy-ass computer in the basement of my parents' house. You know you know that computer, the one where the monitor weighs about 100 pounds and the tower weighs about 10 pounds. Somehow you put the monitor on top of the doggone tower without crushing it.
Yep.
Normally with that, you hear that sound. I will not play it again. And then you see three logos pop up. You see AOL Online pop up while the dialing is happening. And then if you get a connection, you will see the AOL Messenger logo pop up twice.
Right.
I don't think it got to the second two pop-ups for the Moronic Republic of Cowboy Nation after
It
what
didn't.
the hell I just saw this morning.
It didn't.
You don't got mail.
And his thing. No one is asking. Nobody is asking you if you them boys. No one is asking you that.
I have a 3-word response. I have a 3-word response for that song, and Cole visualized it perfectly.
Stop the cap.
Please.
No, I got a better one. Cole, you are a genius for creating this one. And I will echo the words of Wise. Man, I wish you had that button right now. Speaking
Sure
of
to
Wise,
get me that way.
Speaking of Wise,
The following is a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe.
Boston.
This has been a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe.
It's like, how can the Moronic Republic embarrass themselves today?
They find new ways.
They find new, yeah, exactly.
Every
They
single
find,
week.
They find new ways to do that.
No
They
one is
find-
asking you if you still them boys. No one's asking you.
No one actually.
No one is calling you. first and foremost.
No one is
They don't want to talk to
calling
you
because
But
no
why-
one cares
Why are people
at this
still
point in
paging them, though?
time. No one cares. No one cares at this point in time. Speaking of cares, this is a request from my beautiful bride. Colts and Patriots this Sunday morning will start everything at 9 a.m. And I asked her, are we doing anything for the game? And
Stop the cap.
other plans around the house. She also said, and I hate you for that, Cole. Shut up. And her exact response was, quote, well, yeah, we got to listen to the game. But in all seriousness, a shout to my buddy Matt Taylor, who is in Frankfurt, Germany. This morning they arrived. They left yesterday for Frankfurt, Germany. Lots of travel prayers and traveling mercies for the Colts traveling party.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the Colts, we will get to that game. We will get to a couple of other key games. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, because I need some mind bleach. I need some mind bleach.
You know what the Moronic Republic loves to say?
I'm the juggernaut, bitch!
And then they get humbled by the Philadelphia Eagles.
5 yards. 5.
Full push it. I see the button. Push it.
So what you're saying, Victor, is that when you saw my man singing, "Oh, are you still them boys?"
Yep.
Your mind basically was like this.
We gotta pause that!
No, we gotta delete that. You don't gotta pause. We gotta delete it. Scrub that from the memory banks. Delete that and then clear the internet browser history, because that does not need to be seen by anybody in mankind ever.
I just thought the fact he put it out there, the commitment he had.
He said deleted.
Deleted. No,
He said that doesn't need to. He said
doesn't need to be paused.
It's not. We gotta pause that. He said we gotta delete that.
That does not need to be viewed by anyone in
Victor, say
mankind
it
ever.
again. Victor, say it again. I'm gonna record that and I'm gonna visualize it somehow. Say it again, please. Say it again.
We don't have to pause that. We need to delete it. Erase it. Someone get Tommy Lee Jones, because I don't trust Will Smith right now. Someone get Tommy Lee Jones, get that neuralizer out, just have him look at the red light and just go.
Wait a minute. Wait. Did y'all catch what Victor just said? He said we got to get Tommy Lee Jones because I don't trust Will Smith right now.
Get Tommy Lee Jones, get that neuralizer from the Men in Black movies. I know it's a prop, but we're going to try something. Have everybody in the world, everybody watching, look at the little red light, press the button, wipe out a couple hours. Because that does not need to be seen by anybody.
Wait a minute. Wait. Why are we wiping out only a couple of hours? I never thought I would say that aloud, but why are we only wiping? Victor, wipe out a couple of hours? You fool!
Well, here's the problem. The neuralizer only has a select few settings. Hours, days, months, and years.
How about a month? Can we erase a month?
So you so there's a one that's a 10.
For the Moronic Republic? No, I don't want to erase the entire memory of the Moronic Republic of Cowboy Nation, because if I play some of the evil clips that I have in storage, they won't remember it. No. Can we erase more than a couple of hours? Can you put a special setting on there to erase like 4 hours? Or even better, can you put a special setting on there that'll give them one of these?
Come on!
You got to customize it, but maybe. I'm just saying that particular thing does not need to be seen by anybody. Anybody.
Arlie Emery.
What is that?
And I'll stop it there.
What is that?
Oh,
I swear I saw this
G. What is that? Give me this button. What the is that?
Every single time.
When I saw this, Victor, I was thinking about you, because I was like, this is why I would hate to be a Cowboys fan. I'm like, oh my gosh, they have to defend them. The reasonable, rational ones have to defend themselves from guys like that.
From this idiocy. Yes. I agree.
Know what? When Cole
quote,
did that,
the great
when Cole
Cole
did that
Johnson.
when Cole did that the very first time, and y'all know the day it happened, I don't have to repeat it, and he put the emphasis and the capitalization and the underline on the word idiocy, I had to borrow it. So now that's become our Wednesday thing. Something with the Cowboys has got to become our Football Friday thing. It just has to now.
And Sig Diggy, I would answer Mikey
God.
the Alien, but I got 2 left feet. So I don't know if that will work.
We going to Super Bowl. This is our year. And this is of course
Sounds like a few Cup fans I know.
This is of course from our BS3 brethren, CJ. You can check his show out, Elevate. Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central, 8 Eastern.
Fabulous.
On the BS3 network.
Fabulous program.
And he and Justin are wonderful. But CJ, you're gonna hate this, brother. See, you got to defend yourself from individuals like this, and I know you see them in Dallas, but you got to defend this, man.
Ain't nobody calling me.
First of all, that first note, did it sound like he was getting ready to cough?
I'm starting to
just a minute, Victor. When he hit that first note, did it seem to you or look to y'all that a lump was forming in his throat while he was coming down off of the buzz and getting himself back together? Does it seem like that? Does it seem like he was gonna cough up something like a that coughs up a hairball?
No way, bro. No way.
I'm starting to think.
Oh no,
CJ. No, bro.
CJ, don't say that.
I'm starting to think that this is karmic retribution for me coming up with the ever living.
And all the time. Wait a minute. Wait. And all the times we made fun of the ever living.
Mm-hmm.
We killed Ryan McCoffey 3 times.
Yes, we did.
The first time he was on vacation in North Carolina.
Yeah, killed him the first time on
vacation. He was on vacation. Dead. And I'll place the blame on myself for that. Because the song was in my head. The theme was in my head. I didn't play it that morning, but the theme was in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I warned myself and everybody that was watching that morning, in the immortal words of Bugs Bunny, I'll do it, but I'll probably hate myself in the morning. I went through with it, and then Cole, right on cue, put up that picture. And all you hear Ryan say was, Dad.
Yep. That got me called out by Wise.
Oh God.
What? Yeah. The entire week. You got called out, Victor, that entire week.
Yep.
Man.
It was getting to the point where I was enjoying the fact that Wise would actually call you out, Victor, and say, "Don't you summon him."
You got called out.
Don't you summon him?
My favorite one, I made a Lightfoot lotion ad in the comment section.
Yes, you did.
Wise came on later, and he said, "We had a really good time and everything, but I got a bone to pick with somebody."
Yes. Yes.
After a pause here, Victor, my brother and all, but you can't be bringing up no Lightfoot lotion like you know what Cole's gonna do.
And I saw it. I was like, at the end of the program.
Mm-hmm.
I got you.
And son of a gun if you didn't do it. And son of a gun if he didn't hop right off, went into the lab for about 5 minutes, and then came up with that.
Oh my gosh.
And you know what the bad part is about that video?
What's that?
Is there's a group of the Moronic Republic who's like, man, he's spitting bars, he's spitting fire. Someone sign him.
Oh my God, that brother's singing. Oh my gosh.
Wait, Cole, not singing. Wait,
singing.
Not singing.
No, not singing.
Singing.
And not even, you don't even put you don't even put the proper G at the end of the word.
No, you don't.
Singing.
Not singing. Singing.
That
brother's singing.
You lived in the
straight from the church.
He cooking.
Straight
cooking.
Cole, you've spent your life, you spent your life in the South. I've spent some time in I spent some time in the South. Victor and I have talked. Victor's a native of North Carolina, and we all have joked about how phrases become one word.
Yep.
When you live in the South. Jody and I spent 2 years in North Carolina. Y'all know what I do for a living as a sportscaster. I swear to you, this happened. I went to Winston-Salem to call a couple of basketball games. I swear to you, gentlemen, when they heard me enunciate my words,
they thought you from another planet.
Oh yeah, they looked at me like I had grown an extra head.
Throwing the fact you're black, they definitely thought you were from another
planet. Yep.
In a minute. Then 2 weeks later, Jody joins me. I don't think I have to tell you the rest of that story. I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later, but it would involve some very unsavory things that we saw and were said to us while we were in Winston-Salem, North Carolina that night. And on top of that, the game that I covered, Jody asked me, how long is it going to be? I said, it's going to be a couple of hours. You know, that game went 2 overtimes. That game went 2 overtimes.
The Cliff Notes version of that is, look at that. The snow bunny.
Yep.
The picks are next after this.
Where did the time go? I don't know how I got here.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So tell me, you can do it if you try.
He was only 58 years old when he passed away. That outcome could have been different.
Colorado happens to be one of the worst states for radon levels.
It's in our ground, and it seeps up.
The more you breathe radon, the more chance you have of DNA being hit and the cell mutated. The EPA estimates 22,000 lung cancer deaths a year caused by radon.
We all make choices. When it comes to alcohol, kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Have fun. Hey, have a seat for a second. Remind me about that party again?
Alex is just...
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. They want guidance and honest answers to their questions. And it makes a difference when the message is consistent and part of everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Mister, how do do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Hey, ain't nobody calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, are you still involved? Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still involved? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still involved. Woo, shut up, my boy. I'm still them boys. Oh, I'm still them boys. I'm still them boys. Yeah, I'm still them boys.
I would sit there and say that there had to be some
We will never gain those 63 seconds back. That
I was thinking that maybe it's a plant. Maybe it's a 49er fan trying to impersonate a Cowboys fan. But the runner couple is that dumb.
Don't you ever in life make that suggestion again.
Oh my God.
I may be a 49er fan, but I'm also an insider, and unlike some football fans we know in the 21st century, we actually have some sense.
And he did. Clearly did not.
I swear he just got in front of a microphone and just went to town.
Yeah. He's like, how can I make myself look like a fool today? Let me sing about the Cowboys. Most Cowboys fans don't even sing about the doggone Cowboys. Why are you doing it?
Because he couldn't help it.
That's what makes this even better.
I'll answer that, because he couldn't help it.
Oh
I got to think the fact that there are people like you, Victor, you, Ben, our brother King Dog, and even Dietz. I'm glad that there are Cowboys fans that are reasonable and objective with their team.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
But I have come up so to understand how this is for me. So in Houston, there was a growing amount of Cowboys fans in that city.
Right. Yep.
But they couldn't really gain traction when the Oilers were bad in the early 80s because the Cowboys were also bad.
Right.
Right.
And this was after 81 when the Cowboys appeared in the NFC Championship.
Cowboys NFC Championship game.
Right.
Because they appeared in another one the year after in Washington.
And that was against the Washington Redskins.
Mm-hmm. They booted them.
Am I right? That was the Redskins game.
Yeah,
31-17. Hey, diddle, John Riggins up the middle. Go on.
When Danny White got knocked out and Gary Hogaboom had to come in for quarterback for the Cowboys.
And anybody who remembers the name Daryl Grant, any Cowboy fan that remembers the name Daryl Grant cringes.
They cringe. So Cowboy fandom really couldn't take hold all that much in the 80s, because then in Houston the Oilers started to increase and get better and better and better.
Yep.
And they were making the playoffs and the Cowboys still weren't. To the point where they traded away Herschel Walker and got a whole and basically raided the Vikings draft for like 4 to 5 years. So as they wisely picked the 90s Cowboy squad that of course ended up winning championships. Houston was still an Oilers town, and then when the Oilers fizzled and the Cowboys started to win championships, Houston became sick with a whole ton of Cowboys fever. And then when the Oilers moved a few years later, it was like Cowboys fans became roaches in Houston.
Oh, it was.
Oh my
gosh!
It was horrible. It was horrible.
And what makes it so bad, after the Oilers left, and I know a few Oiler fans, after the Oilers left, they publicly declared that they were going to be Cowboy fans.
Yeah.
And they were doing it in droves.
Yeah.
They were doing it in droves.
So I would see, maybe not a guy who could sing like that, but I would see individuals like this almost on the daily in Houston. I'm like,
Oh,
you don't
gosh.
even
I'm
live in
sorry.
the city. Why are you rooting for this team?
Yeah.
And they don't have an answer, do they?
No, they don't.
Do they have are they close to having an answer?
Well, or if they do have an answer, it's a real horrible one. Not one that speaks to them being a straight up sports fan. Oh, I like the colors of the jerseys, or
right.
I'm an Emmett fan, or I'm a playmaker fan, or Troy Aikman is hot.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah. No comment here. All right. I'll push the visual button. I'll have Cole push the musical button. It's time for these. Week 10. Our game picks this morning are presented by BetUS.com, one of the proud sponsors of Snowman in the Morning. BetUS.com, where the game begins. And as always, there are some dog games here, but we're going to do a lot of them. Let's start in Frankfurt, Germany. Colts laying 2 again. That's about the result that's going to be for that one. 9:30 a.m. is your kickoff time. Give me the Colts, and I'm laying the points. Victor?
Same. Colts, I'm laying the points. I think the Colts are starting to get into a rhythm, and as far as the Patriots have fallen, I don't see them getting back up at this. I mean, call life alert. I think they're going to go down.
Make your picks along with us, folks. Our picks are presented by BetUS.com. Mr. Johnson, go.
I know the Colts are Texans rivals, but I'm actually going to root for the Colts. I don't give a crap about the points. I just want Belichick gone.
Same.
I think a lot of people feel the same way. 1 o'clock kickoff for this one. It's the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. And after what the Browns did to the Seattle Seahawks, dear Deshaun Watson, you're screwed. Give me the Ravens, and I'm laying the points. Cole?
Yeah, I agree with you. I do. But...
Don't do it, please.
Come on, girl. Towel.
Oh, no.
And he got the towel.
Oh, hold on.
That better not been the same towel that Cowboys fan was wiping his mouth with.
Yeah,
this is gonna be heavy duty. Give me another towel, baby. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
He got another towel. He got another towel.
This is a 2 towel. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some damage in Baltimore, baby. Yeah, you saw that shutout, right? I ain't gonna shut you out this bedroom, right? Yeah, but you ain't gonna touch me. I ain't gonna shut you out the bedroom. Yeah, I gotta get this. I gotta get this arm ready. I gotta get this.
Lord have mercy.
I think with that sound alone, he's made his pick.
Yeah, he did.
Ravens.
All right. 1 o'clock in the jungle. The Houston Texans and the Cincinnati Bengals. Last team to have possession will win the game. Cincinnati laying 6.5 at home. Don't you fall for that trap. After what I saw from CJ Stroud, last team to have the ball will win the game. I can't do it. I got to go with the Bengals. 54-51 Bengals, but I would not be surprised if CJ Stroud and the Texans pull the shocker. So I'm kind of torn. I'm kind of torn in this game. My official pick is the Bengals. My heartstrong pick is the Texans. Cole?
I'm of course a root for the Texans. However,
yep.
The team isn't strong enough. It's strong enough to play a game right now with a squad like the Bengals that actually has the talent, and they're at home, and now they have the confidence to boot.
Yep.
Bengals are going to take this one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Go ahead, Victor.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Texans do come back from behind and take this one, because they're starting to get together. I'm very impressed from what I've seen from Texans thus far. But I think when you talk about a team that, again, 2 years removed from being in a Super Bowl, the Bengals are still there. So I think WKRP is going to be reigning proud Sunday at 1. So I'm going with the Bengals.
WKRP in Cincinnati.
Now we got to work that theme song into the thing. 49ers and Jaguars from Everbank Stadium. Niners laying 3 on the road. Everyone's healthy. Trent Williams is back in the lineup. Deebo Samuel back in the lineup. The streak ends, but it's going to be close. It'll be razor thin. The Jaguars are good. I'm not going to disrespect them at all. And I love Trevor Lawrence. But the Niners are going to get their act together. They will stop the 3-game losing streak. I got the 49ers, but I'm going to take the points here. Cole?
This is a recipe for the 49ers to heal. It is. It's a recipe for them to get back on track. Now they've had a week between the third game they lost and this game here. And the Jags, they're riding high. 5 games. They've won straight.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say Jags in the worst way.
Yeah.
But I think the 49ers will have just enough to take care of the Jags. Even though this is in Duval, they have just enough to take care of the Jags.
Oh, it's gonna be a close one. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes an extra period. Victor?
I remember back when people just looked at the Jaguars. Remember Keith Traylor taking back a 95-yard screen on them, and look at how far they've come.
Yes.
They look incredible. They look like a juggernaut out there. The only thing, though, is I think Bosa's going to be able to handle them, and that's why my edge is going to the 49ers. I think that defense is going to do a lot of damage, particularly getting rushing on the quarterback.
And the defense is healthy. Randy Gregory is healthy. Of course, Nick Bosa is there. And Steve Wilkes will be on the sideline. And whenever he coaches on the sideline, the defenses tend to do better. Carolina last year. Hello. Let's go. Where do we go next? There's some dumpster fire games here. You know what? Let's do this one. Let's go to Pittsburgh and the new Three Rivers Stadium, aka Heinz Field, aka Acrisure Stadium, which ain't so sure. Packers and Steelers. Steelers trying to stay in the race against the Packers. The Packers are finished. Give me the Steelers, and I'm laying the points. Victor?
Same thing. I'm going with the Steelers, and I'm laying the points. Just beat the Packers out and put them out of their misery at this point.
Please. Go ahead, Cole.
Steelers in the ketchup bottle.
All right. 4-0. I shouldn't do this Tank Bowl, but let's do it. Let's do it anyway. 4:05 in Arizona. How bad will the Cardinals go down to the Atlanta Falcons? And the Falcons are only laying 2 in the desert. You know what? I'm going to borrow from A Pizzle. I'm going to say sound the alarm, but for a different reason. Tie. Victor?
This is a rough one. I'm going to have to go with the Falcons on this one. Now, Rich was going to say the Cards because the Cards are doing better, but then they gave up some of their key pieces. So I got to go with the Falcons. And I will lay the points.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, Cole. Do it.
Should I? Do I? Really? Lord. Oh, I'm sorry. Set the table for me, please.
Cardinals and Falcons in a bird fight. Okay.
Those Falcons,
no more.
crap, the crap they will spew on the field will win.
Oh,
yeah.
my goodness.
I'm not touching the Giants game, but I'll touch this one. 4:05 in California. Lions and the Chargers. Chargers +3 at home against the Lions. I shouldn't, but I can't. I just can't go against the Lions and how well they're playing right now. Give me the Lions, and even against Justin Herbert, I'm going to lay the points. Victor?
I'm laying the points. I'm going with the Lions. The Lions have too good of a on-the-ground threat to deal with the Chargers. I don't think that front four of the Chargers is going to be able to hold them off. And again, is Brandon Staley still employed?
Yep, he is.
That's why I'm going with the Lions.
And it's Cole's fault that the jinx happened because against the Bears, he said that if the Bears beat the San Diego Chargers, Brendan Staley would lose his job. Well, unfortunately, since then, the Chargers have done nothing but win. And, yeah, you know the rest. Cole. It's your fault with this jinx, man.
Indeed, it is.
Sorry. What bowling show of the game we talking about now?
Chargers
Detroit
and
San
Lions.
Detroit and San Diego. There.
It's a 4-4. Yes, I know the Lions are 6-2. The Chargers are still a dumpster fire. Lions.
Well, we took care of that one. I'm not touching the Giants and the Cow. Yeah, matter of fact, yeah. I will ask one question about the Giants and the Cowboys. Do they beat them by more than 17 points?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. That's all. And as long as this game don't happen on Thanksgiving, my meal is not ruined. Redskins and Seahawks, 4:25 is your kickoff time in the Pacific Northwest. Okay. I will borrow from Mike Golick. Y'all know me by now. I'm doing this because of a lack of judgment. I am doing this against my better judgment. I want the Redskins, and I'm taking the points, though I know better in Seattle. Y'all look, and I know what's going to happen. Seattle's going to mop the floor with the Redskins. I already know this. Shut up. And shut up, Ryan McCoffey. Do y'all say Seahawks at home? Let's just go ahead and do y'all say Seahawks at home and lay the points?
I don't know if I take that one. Is Geno Smith?
That one?
Is Geno Smith? Yes. And it's a matter of which quarterback is worse, Geno Smith or Sam Howell. I gotta go with Geno being worse.
Oh, so you're going Redskins?
I'm gonna go with Washington. Yes.
Shut up, Cole. You know it's coming back next year. Cole, say it.
And the slur.
Shut up.
We'll go down and see it. We'll go down in Seattle. And if the name comes back for the rest of my life, I will call them Washington the Slur.
No, the hell you won't. Not on this program you won't,
We're getting
doggone
angry karate chops from Sensei.
You know what? You know what? Cole is going to do that just to mess with me and get a laugh out of me. I know he is. Should I do this? Should we do the Sunday? Yeah, let's do the Sunday night game.
Mm-hmm.
Jets and Raiders.
Ooh.
And not in the original black hole in Oakland nor Los Angeles. Not only is it that, it's a pick'em. Tell me why this is. Never mind. I've answered my own question. I'm staying away from this one, gentlemen. I ain't touching this one.
You first, Victor.
Cole passed it off.
Do I go? No, I can't go with the Raiders.
Me neither.
I don't know if I want to touch this game either. This game sounds terrible.
You
know what?
You can't go with the Raiders. They're at home and they're playing a team.
And
I'm so sorry, Mr. McCarthy.
Yeah,
they are playing a team that 3 nights and 4 days ago couldn't scratch a touchdown against the Chargers at home.
Yeah,
at home in the Meadowlands.
I mean, I can see it could beat. I picked the rain.
We gotta pause that.
Again, we got to
You're
do
an
that.
idiot.
I'll go with the Jets, but by a very slim margin. I'll take the points.
You know what? I this is my only statement about the game, and it refers to a thumbnail that Cole sent me. I was minding my business, and then BAM! That Zach Wilson thumbnail you sent me.
You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna go like old Snowman. I want a scoreless tie.
You know what? I want total anarchy. I want a scoreless tie too. I want total anarchy. I want total, complete, and utter anarchy.
There's nothing good about this game.
You had to do that, didn't you, Victor? Goodness gracious.
Like you don't want the same thing.
Not really.
I
not
rest
with
my
them.
case.
No, not with them. If
Right.
it involved, if it involved the Jaguars, Colts, definitely Titans, and maybe the Cowboys to
Right.
play with them,
Right.
then yes, I totally root for it.
Okay.
Yes.
But Jets and the Raiders, unless they're gonna go back to the Heidi game back in 1968, nah.
Yeah, like I said, by a
Right.
slim margin, I'd go with the Jets, but I wouldn't be surprised if a scoreless tie happened.
Where is Chuck Gowdy
wouldn't
when
be
you
either.
need? Listen, where is Chuck Gowdy when you need him to call this game? Where is the late great Chuck Gowdy when you need the Cowboy Chuck Gowdy to call this game? 43-32 was the final of that game. And speaking of final, the Denver Broncos are on Monday Night Football.
How
That'll
on
do it
earth
for our
did that
picks
happen?
this week. Oh, we actually have to do this one? Oh, God.
How did that happen?
I don't know. I
still don't know how the Jets and Raiders did not get flexed out of that schedule. I still don't know.
I don't either.
Fear. That's the only. Oh, dear Lord. Oh, dear Lord. Do y'all have an opinion on the Monday night game?
Bills.
Yeah, Bills.
Those are our picks for week number 10. Follow along at betus.com. Use the code Snowman, and you will get a 125% deposit match on your deposit. Thank you. Now, one more thing to do.
And now, the transporter to Hades, the reformer of hooker whores, and the bronze god, the one, the only, the legendary Chris Bay.
The man has returned. His name is Chris Bass, and he joins us this morning. Good morning, man.
Good morning, man. Of course, good morning to you, Rain Man. Good morning to the Mad Scientist. Good morning to our brother, of course, Wise El Jefe, of course, Wise Hall, and all the boys and girls in the comment section there. Good morning and happy boom shakalaka to you all.
Good morning,
also,
Mr. Bass.
I'm about to say, and also Mr. Bass. Good morning to
What's up, Victor? You don't show your face. I don't know how the hell I'm supposed to know you on this program. I don't see your face, man.
In between computers right now, so it would be hard to do so. But
I'm sorry. You doing what? Scratching your butt? What did you say between what?
oh no.
not scratching your butt.
My camera isn't of the best quality, so I decided to be like playback to stay off screen.
Okay, I just wanted to know because again, look, I just can't have random voices going into my segment. I just can't have that. I mean, no offense, I love you like a stepbrother, but at the same time, I had to. Well, we're living in an era, of course, that we audio visual. So I'm glad you're here. I love you more. But again, and goddamn it, every now and again, just throw your face in the place so we know you're not trying to hide out from people you owe money to.
It'd be very odd if someone actually asked me for money because I'm broke as a jug. I really don't have it.
Well, I understand that happens sometimes. It's like my grandfather used to say, to paraphrase the whole thing, not to get into the whole language, but broke as a broke penis dog. And you can insert the word besides penis.
Say no more.
I understand it. I've heard that saying as well.
Exactly. That's broke.
That's
dog.
That's very much broke.
Yes. Ooh, wait. Okay, so you have an animal there, Rain Man. Who's that?
This is Lucy. This is my little terrier.
Hello, Lucy. How you doing? Good to have you on the program.
Lucy's just looking at Daddy, going, "Are you going to take me out now, Lucy? You're going to have to wait a few minutes." But she hops up here from time to time, along with my little kittens who are running around right now. All right, babes, what you got for us this morning?
All right, first before we get started, great observance to our veterans who keep us safe, who keep our liberties and freedoms going. The love and affection that we have for you has no words. So thank you for all that you do. Thank you so much, and we'll be able to do this if it had not been for you all out there. So thank you so much. You're a veteran, aren't you, Cole?
Yes, sir, I am.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We all do.
Salute to you, Cole.
Yes, indeed.
Appreciate that.
So to make a hard shift after that, so once again, a great work that our men and women do for our sisters. James Harden. Now,
sorry.
No, it's great. No, the thing about it only takes one person. You don't have to have a myriad of people or a lot of people to cause trouble, to stir trouble.
Mm-hmm.
It can only be one.
Mm-hmm.
And once you remove that one person, depending on where he or she is, the environment that they used to be a part of, now they can dance and sing and have joy in their hearts. I mean, they can scream out joy, joy, joy down in my heart. And someone like James Harden, but seriously, someone like a James Harden, of course, has been shipped from different teams, as we know. Now, of course, the latest, even the 76ers going to the LA Clippers. Remember the Wiz when they flushed the Wicked Wizard of the West down the toilet?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And they were singing out. That's what the 76ers were doing once James Harden left the building. Can you feel a brand new day?
Brand new day.
Yes.
That's what they were doing.
You're right.
And you know, when you go back and watch the movie or obviously heard the soundtrack or both or either, that's the late great Nipsey Russell, not Nipsey Hussle, Nipsey Russell. Fantastic comedian, played the Tin Man. So he mouthed and just, worded all of his dialogue, kind of like Elvis. Don't worry, let him sing on his dialogue, let him voice all his dialogue. Even when he sung the part, everybody rejoice. And then this sort of thing, he said, and thank you, world. Always knew that we'd be free somehow. Free in my ass. Whatever he said, he just kept on going with it.
Yeah.
Instead of
Yes.
saying it.
Right. And so the Tin Man, that was Joel Embiid. That was him.
And I couple that with 3 words: find the lie.
And when you said hard shift to Harden, that wasn't a hard shift. That was careening off a cliff.
It really was.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It is what I do.
And it's beautiful.
It's wonderful.
It's wonderful, man.
Well, as we know, again, it's amazing how one person can make a difference, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. And so since his departure from the 76ers, we've seen an uptick with the team. They have played tremendously. They can share the ball more. And even when James Harden on viral video goes to the Clippers, he's greeted by some of his new teammates. Russell Westbrook gets up and I've got the brother that was sitting down. He didn't get up for nothing. He sat down, then kept his head down because he knew it was about to come. He knew that the crap storm is coming.
Yes.
So he just sat there, said it, kept his peace to himself and everything else. And like, I don't even be around, brother. I'll be around it because I know it's coming. So I'm just going to work or it's not, because it's a crapshoot like anything else. When you're the owner of a team, you get a player or players. Of course, if it falls, then it falls and you fail. But if it works, then you're a genius. So it's going to go either way, as we know. We don't know yet. It don't look good from where I sit right now, but anything can happen. But again, because of his past instances, because of him being a destructive, symbiotic gnat in a locker room, it just doesn't bode well. It doesn't bode well at all. So almost dominoes to the Clippers organization, the Clippers teammates, because it's about to be one.
Is it ever about to be one? Because everyone wants to highlight and think, and Cole, thank you for bringing this up, that James Harden can still be the man with whichever team that signs him. And I talked earlier in the week about how that just simply cannot and should not be the case at all. It just can't be, because Daryl Morey spent 8 years trying to figure out if James Harden is the man, surrounding him with different pieces like Dwight Howard, more on that later, like Clint Capella, more on that later, and nothing happened. Nothing.
And then there's Chris Paul and Russell
And then
Westbrook.
Of course. Then there's Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook. And yes, I said it correctly. Russell Westbrook. And they're teaming up again. Westbrook and Harden. If it didn't work twice before, what makes you think the third time's going to be a charm with these two, especially with years passing?
I think certain teams or certain management style feel that if a player gets the organization, they will change. It doesn't start with organization. It starts with the person themselves. They have to want to change. First of all, they have to admit that they are the problem. That's a lot for a person to admit, because it's easy to point to somebody and say, you're the problem, but in reality, it's you. So you can point to everybody else, you, him, and him in the corner eating Cheetos that are crunchy. You can point to them and say, you're the problem, not me. But in reality, it's you're the issue. So I don't know if he come to grips with that. I don't think he will. I don't see at this point right now. And maybe he just doesn't give a flying, you know what, at this stage in the game. Look, I'm making my money. I got my shoe deals and everything else. I'm the beard, for God's sake. So, hey, it is what it is. So if that's the case and you know you're a detriment, that's even more dangerous.
Here's a question that Sick Diggy brought us from Norway, and it's a very valid one. What happens, what's to become of the Nets once the fashion plate, a.k.a. Ben Simmons, and all the alerts that are within net goes? Because it started with Harden. He's gone. Kyrie Irving, he's gone. Now Ben Simmons is the only one left trying to round that team into shape, and it's just not working.
They had their chance. Kevin Durant, obviously gone. So you tried the experiment. The experiment didn't work. And I think it's really hard to bounce back from that. You can try to play it off as though it's okay when reality is not okay. So you got to find a way, of course, to recover. And so Ben Simmons being who he is, once again, I'm not making fun of mental health. Mental health is very serious. But I think at the same time, the person who has to get help, they have to want to get help and try to get better, and hopefully Godspeed to him or her who goes through that. Now, having said that, it can affect your game. It can affect your psyche and things of that nature. And I wish him well when it comes to better mental health. At the same time, being a part of that organization, go back to the Brooklyn Nets, it's just destruction after destruction after destruction. So it's anytime you see a building that's collapsed, it's too many broken parts on the ground. So how do you rebuild? You got to start all over again, sweep up and start from scratch and build a foundation all over again. And so that obviously takes time. Not going to happen overnight. So with what they did going back to Brooklyn, they had a good core. The core has now been destructed, has now been separated. It's still crumblings of a foundation. So you have to rebuild. So as I said before, Scooby-Doo once said, Rasta Ruck. Rasta Ruck is going to take a lot to try to rebuild that. And again, to bring other players or people who want to be a part of that organization.
So what do the Sixers do now that Harden is gone and there is an uptick, as you said, Base, but it's the regular season. Anyone who has studied the Sixers history, recent history, they've gone no further than the second round. Matter of fact, if my memory serves me correct, they haven't been to the Eastern Conference Finals since 2001, and they won it against Milwaukee. That was a 7-game war.
Right.
Who's next to join that team to try to take them to that level?
I like Milwaukee right now. I like Milwaukee. I like where they are. Picking up, of course, Dame was a fantastic get. And you have to realize, like anything else, you have to defer your game to your other counterpart. But if you're able, of course, to continue your game along with the person you're playing with, because some people get handcuffed when they get to a certain team, because it used to be the superstar and the go-to person on that team. Now you have to regulate and rechange your position on a new team. And I think that will be the challenge for me, I see up against the 76ers. Hopefully, they can get past what they've been going through before not getting past the second round. Hopefully, they can make the difference and get past that. Like, you don't know until you try. So hopefully, with Harden being gone and you still have the core there, I think Maxi's a fantastic player. I think he's lights out.
Yes.
And now that he has the ball more, you get more of a fluid offense where everybody has, I think, quote unquote, equal touches on the ball. From that perspective, it becomes more of a team concept. So I see that happen. I think Milwaukee would be on the upscale for that, going against the 76ers. I think that will be probably their main competition in that conference.
Here's the only problem I have with Milwaukee, and they swung the trade for Damian Lillard. They got another dynamic scorer in Damian Lillard. However, if you take a peek at last night's game against the Indiana Pacers, A, they surrendered 126 points, and B, Drew Holiday was their defensive dynamo. He's now gone. Now what?
They knew what they were doing, and these people are not. This is the first time they're the rodeo. They know what they were doing. You got to give up to get up. So again, I think Drew Holiday. I think wherever he goes, like being with Boston now, is going to be more than an asset to that. Defense, of course, wins games. You need a defensive stop. Some people are more offensive oriented, of course, than other players. I think Drew Holiday is the truth. But you knew where you were letting go. Me personally, I would have loved to see Drew Holiday stay there. And to be completely transparent, Dame Lillard should went to Miami. I understand about the dynamics in politics. The man stayed in Portland. The man tried to build something in Portland, and it just wasn't happening.
Yeah, and they tore the team down.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the biggest piece that got traded from the Portland Trail Blazers was his backcourt mate, CJ McCollum. Then they locked into a contract with Alan Crabb. That didn't work out. Then they locked into a contract with Mo Harkless. That didn't work out. Those two contracts came after 2016 when they got to the Western Conference semifinals. Now, they got out of those contracts 3 years later and wound up making the Western Conference finals, but then they got a foot put in them by the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
Again, the question remains, now what with Milwaukee? How do they get that defensive swagger back? Because for the longest time with Giannis, that's been their calling card.
Somebody got to step up. It's always the clarion call for somebody got to step up in their role to be greater. So who's going to step up? We don't know yet. I think it has to be because, again, you lose the magnitude of a Drew Holiday. That's a big hole. That's a huge hole to fill. So you got to do your best to, once again, find who's on the team who can step into that role of defensive stopping and then go from there. Other than that, you're not going to go anywhere at all.
No.
Let me move on because I didn't get a chance to mention this last week. The passing of one Robert Montgomery Knight, who left at the age of 83. Chicago born and bred all my life. Basketball fan since I was a kid.
Right.
Following the then version of the Big Ten Conference. So we saw Bobby Knight all the time. Hated the man. I hate him like I hated the Boston Celtics. It was just that in that hate category.
Yes.
I wish Wise was here so we could hate together for Boston. It would be tag team hate. Now, the only difference, I do like New Edition. That's the only thing I disagree with. I love New Edition.
Well, I'll give him a chance to explain it on mentality. He does like New Edition. He
Okay,
just doesn't
good.
like where they originated from.
He doesn't
Where
like
they
where
came from.
they.
They can't be. They can't control that. I mean, they're in the projects for God's sake in Boston. I understand what he's
agree.
saying.
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
I'm in the womb. I'm gonna tell my mama to move. Right. I mean, come on now.
But I'll give him a chance to explain because we'll talk about New Edition in the next mentality episode. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, looking forward to it. Great program, by the way.
Thank you, brother.
So we saw Bobby Knight all the time and hated the man.
Yes.
I grew up, graduated with a phenom back in the day. They did a 30 for 30 episode on him a while back. Ben Wilson. Ben Wilson was the truth. And I graduated grammar school with Benji. And I remember reading in the paper that Bob Knight actually came to his house to recruit. And I saw, the last time I saw Benji was, we had summer school together. The summer before going into the year, of course, he was shot. But that summer we were hanging out. I said, did I read right in the Sun Times that Bobby Knight came to your house? Yeah. Bobby Knight comes to the Chicago South Side in any shape or form is huge news back then. I mean, we could not believe it. That's how big Benji was for this man to come to the South Side to recruit him for Indiana. Of course, he was not going to go because, like the rest of us, we could not stand Bobby Knight. But you got to give credit where credit's due. The man graduated 75 to 80% of his players. He came from that old school mentality of being strict, but I'm strict for a reason. So, as we know, the legendary Duke coach Mike Krzyzewski played for him at West Point when he was a coach at West Point. Mike Krzyzewski told the story of when Mike Krzyzewski's father had passed away, and he had to go back home. He goes back home, comes to find out when he goes home, who's there to visit him? Bobby Knight.
Bobby Knight
comes to his home and asks, can he help out in the condolences of his father? Stories like that, everybody's not walking on water. But you got to give credit when credit's due. Another thing I gave credit to Bobby Knight for, with the exception of his star player, Isaiah Thomas, Bobby Knight was able to craft great players out of Indiana. And some of them may be journeymen in the NBA, or maybe they make the NBA, but they became college coaches or NBA coaches. And that is the future of somebody's landscape of their life. Not saying that you don't take away if they play their playing days, but their future outside their playing days. And that's a really strong investment. Had like Quinn Snyder and, of course, Steve Alford and those guys, Marty Simmons. Those guys were able to benefit to become coaches down the road. And that, to me, you may not like them. I didn't like them in the beginning, but when I started to read and heard about the other stories, I had to give them an understanding. And people understand, Bobby Knight was 6'6". He was not like an average dude. 6'6", like 245 and some change. He was a big dude.
Yeah, he was.
Tall guy.
Yes, indeed.
So off the top, he's very intimidating. But just the fact that he knew his place, he knew that he could not coach in the NBA because he knew that he would have his ass kicked on a consistent basis. They would have kicked his ass out. We're talking about the players alone. They would have kicked his ass out, completely out the league. And the man wasn't stupid. He became a consultant. I remember he consulted for Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas was coaching the Indiana Pacers at one point. So he knew his lane.
Yeah.
But to help shape men, young men, and to be a second or even first father type figure to them goes a long way. Once again, you don't get along with everybody, but I got to give credit where credit was due. So Godspeed to you, Mr. Knight. I didn't like everything you did. But I like the things that you did do, and that's just being human.
I had the pleasure.
It's funny you mention the aspect of influencing a player, and he can actually take his own program and coach down the line. All those names you mentioned are great, but the biggest of those names is a player that he coached when he was in Army. And he went onward. He actually ran his own program. And you may have heard of him, Mike Krzyzewski.
Coach K.
And I think, to me, the biggest coaching legacy, enduring legacy of a Bob Knight was him. And when I studied that linkage, my respect for Bobby Knight grew. Because I was like, okay, so he's not just a barker and a yeller, although I didn't really like all that about him. but I realized that he actually did impart some knowledge upon people. And then, of course, I dug further and learned about Bill Buckner and Isaiah Thomas and Steve Alford and et cetera, so forth and so on. But I always look at his legacy as he produced a guy like Mike Krzyzewski to coach a big time program like that and basically raise a program from basically nothing to a blue blood. And a lot of those coaching and a lot of those teachers came from Bobby Knight.
I had the chance to see Robert Montgomery Knight in person in a game I had a chance to cover when they played Northwestern. No one thought it would be as close as it was. It wound up being a 2-point win for Indiana. And I'll never forget seeing Bob Knight along with the coach for Northwestern just having a moment while the kids were congratulating each other on a great game. Northwestern fought their way back in that game. And after Welsh Ryan Arena cleared out, I went back to write my story, and I just see those two just sitting under the basket talking shop for a good 20 minutes. So everybody sees the abrasive side of Bobby Knight and all of his antics, but very few people saw the softer side of Bobby Knight. And no one,
basketball a lot.
he lived and loved basketball. And the night he returned to Bloomington, I didn't get a chance to be there for that one, but the night he returned to Bloomington and 18,000 people inside of Assembly Hall were there, that brought a tear to my eye.
Yeah.
And I followed Big Ten basketball since I was 17 when I would visit the University of Illinois campus. And I knew about Bobby Knight when he took his team to an undefeated season in 1976. Of course, another championship in 81. And then 6 years later in the Superdome, he did it again with Keith Smart hitting the game winner. You see all that up front. What you don't see behind the scenes is in many ways how gentle he was to a lot of people. You see, and I'll say it again, you see the abrasive side of Bobby Knight, but as you mentioned, Cole, the way he helped Mike Krzyzewski and the players that he reached back to, and what you were talking about, Base, when he came to the South Side and started recruiting Ben Wilson. You don't hear stories like that. And what I don't like the Four Letter Network for, and someone pointed this out to me, and I went and looked at it. What did they start bringing up when news of Bobby Knight died? They started bringing up all the abrasive stuff that he did. They started bringing up all of the bad times, and I'm like, what is wrong with you guys?
Because that's what he was known for.
The chair he threw across the court. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. That's the go-to. When he choked the player in practice, everything else. And again, once again, right. So that footage, that's what we remember him for. But I can't come after people or go after people without seeing all sides.
Right.
And that's just how I operate. So, like we talk about LeBron James and others. Yeah, I don't like certain things he does, but there's certain things that he does, like say off court, whatever, that I do like. So again, that's how I judge people. That's how I was told. Like, you may not like a person with this, that, and the third, but at the same time, if they have other traits, then that should be acknowledged too. So I try to get it right down the board. Don't get me wrong. Hated Bobby Knight for a long time. Hell, even to the point I still didn't like him, but even he did an interview with then, I believe, CBS reporter Connie Chung and talked about rape and said about if you're going to get raped, just paraphrase, you might well lay back and enjoy it. So again, the man was not perfect. I mean, literally, the only thing was missing was horns and the pitchfork, as far as I was concerned. But the standpoint of him as a coach, I remember, I think it was on Dan Patrick's show, the man could have coached any sport. That goes a lot. I never heard it before until recently. That's how good he was. He could have coached baseball, football, any sport outside of basketball. He was that good. Let me say one more thing before we break company. I work out about 3 days a week. And I go to my local LA Fitness here. When I work out, just as a week I mentioned before, when I work out, I like space.
Yeah.
I don't like to be next to people. That's just my individual thing. Now, if the place is crowded, you can't help it. That's different. If it has lots of space, I'm on a standalone bike, and I'm working out. I got space. So there's a guy that works out there named Frank. So Frank really is like the original Rain Man. Hey, Frank, how you doing? Yeah. How's it going? Okay. How's life? All right. So he's that type of guy. He's that type of dude. So Frank usually goes to the other side of LA Fitness and works his way towards the front, and then he exits out and leaves. Good strategy, by the way.
Right.
So I'm working out my own business, and who sits next to me? Frank. Now, again, you have all these bikes around. You're going to work out next to me. I do not like herd mentality. I don't like it. There's other bikes here that are screaming out your name. You want to work out next to me. I don't like that. It gets on my nerve. And plus, like I said before, he's one of those one-answer dudes. I don't even speak to him because if I'm there to work out, I'm in the zone, got my earbuds on here, listening to my favorite music. I'm trying to get the workout in. Frank, I told you. How's it going, Frank? You doing all right? Well, he's that dude. Now, one time I'm working out, and I'm working out and listening to my music, and all of a sudden I see this young lady come in. She's new. She's a new member to LA Fitness. Then she comes over to the bike. Now, mind you, I'm in mode trying to work out. So all of a sudden I hear, hey, how you doing? It's good to see you here. Let me introduce you myself. I'm going to show you around if you like. And if you want, I've been living here in the neighborhood now, going on 17 years. I turn around, it's Frank. I could not believe it. Frank actually had game and smooth out. Was talking to the sister.
It's all smooth operator played.
Man, look, the sister had to be about maybe 30 to 35 years old. Good looking woman. But then when I turned around, it was Frank. Then I turned around, I was like, hey, I said, I was in shock. She's like, what's your name? Hello, my name is Frank. He never said his name like that before in my life. Never. He said, well, do me a favor. Let me, when we get finished working out here, we go in the back. I mean, he actually had language. And was smooth with it. I'm not player hating the dude. I just didn't think he had it in him.
He said he actually had language.
Language. I kid you not. Gets up with the woman, goes in the back, shows her around everything else, and then this was the caveat. So they're in the front, back at the head desk, like, you want me to show you around again? Here's my phone number. Got the woman's phone number. Frank.
So Frank had game. Okay.
Frank had game. I mean, it took me smooth out. I couldn't take it anymore. It was like it was smooth with it. Like it's not like straight up to the rodeo. He was like, "Well, tell you what. Here's my phone. Put your number in." I was like, "Man, you mother Hubbard." I cannot believe it, man.
I don't think there's a better way we can close than that. Frank had language.
Yes, he did.
The incomparable Chris Bass, as he joins us every Friday inside the Boom Shakalaka. And y'all know he's going to drop a gem. He just dropped a few of them this morning. Man, thank you so much. We love you. There's nothing you can do about it. We look forward to having you again next Friday.
Well, always thank you. Let me be myself again. I deeply appreciate it. Please, me at time. Join me tomorrow on Baseline. Just go to Facebook Live or to my YouTube channel, the Chris Bass channel. Please, I definitely implore all of you, tell 5 of your friends and 18 of your enemies that Baseline and me, Chris Bass, will be in the air. I guarantee it.
We will be there.
8 a.m. Eastern Saturday, 7 a.m. Central, and
Pacific time.
If you're on the West Coast,
catch the recording.
Thank you, sir. Oh my gosh.
You're welcome.
And now, the transporter to Hades, the reformer of hooker whores, and the bronze god, the one, the only, the legendary Chris Bay.
Before we go, Ryan McCoffey and I are going to get together for some Canadian football. 3:30 tomorrow, the East Division Final, the Montreal Alouettes and the defending Grey Cup champion Toronto Argonauts. I'm taking the Argos. They're laying 10 at BMO Field. It's going to be louder than hell in that place. And speaking of loud, you got the loud house called IG Field in Winnipeg. As bad as I want to pick the BC Lions, who are my upset pick, I don't think it's going to happen. And Cole just flipped me off on camera. I hate you for that now. I hate you for that.
Stop the cap.
Shut up. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you,
they are simply not big enough.
Dream big, do bigger. Have a great weekend, y'all. We're out of here. See you Monday.
Ain't nobody calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, are you still involved?
Ain't no pages now.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still involved? Y'all usually check on me. Listen.
What you got a two-way page?
I'm still involved. Woo, shut up, my boy.
Who's got way paging now?
Them boys. Oh! Them boys. I'm still them boys.